All right, Part 231, Railroad Safety Appliance Standards. 231.0, Applicability and Penalties. 231 is the part, Railroad Safety Appliance Standards. 1. Box and other house cars built for the place and service to October 1st, 1966. Hopper cars, high side gondolas, fixed ends. 2. 3. Drop in high side gondolas. 4. Fixed end low side gondola, low side hopper cars. 5. Drop in low side gondola cars. 6. Flat cars. 7. Tanker cars with side platforms. 8. Tanker cars with outside sills or tanker cars with short side sills and platforms. 231.9, tanker cars without end sills. 231.10, caboose with platforms. 231.11, caboose with platforms. 231.12, passenger train cars with wide vestibules. 231.12, passenger train cars with open-ended platforms. 231.14, passenger train cars with ended platforms, without end platforms. 231.15, steam locomotives used in road service. 231.16, steam locomotives used in switching service. 231.17, specification common to all steam locomotives. 231.18, cars of special construction. 231.19, definition of light, right, and left. 231.20, variations in size permitted. 231.21, tanker cars without underframes. 231.22, operation of track motor cars. 231.23, unidirectional passenger train cars adapted to van type semi-trailer use. 231.24, box and other house cars with roofs and 16-foot 10 inches or above the top of the rail. 231.25, track motor cars, self-propelled four-wheel cars which can be removed from the rails by men. 231.26, push cars. 231.27, box and other house cars without roof hatches placed in services after October 1st, 1966. 231.28, box other housing cars with roof hatches built and placed in service after October 1st, 1966. 231.29, road locomotives and corner stairways. 231.30, locomotives with switching services. 231.31, drawbars of freight cars, standard height. 231.33, procedures, special approval, existing industry safety appliancing standards. 231.35, procedures, modification, improved industry safety, appliance standards for new rail car construction. Appendix A, Part 231, Schedule of Civil Penalties, Authority, Title 49, U.S. Standard Code 20102, 20103, 20107, 20131, 20301 through 20303, 21301 to 21302, 21304, Title 28, U.S. Standard Code 2461, note in Title 49, CFR 1.49. Source, Title 33, Federal Registers 19663, December 25th, 1968, unless otherwise noted. Note where the rivets and bolts are required in this Part 231, the two pieces of steel rivet may be used inconsistent with a solid shank of the 1/2 inch minimum diameter steel material equal to the greater strength than having cold forged head one end of the shank of the material thickness fastened in the locking grooves, brake net groove, pull grooves, and all angular grooves on the opposite end. A collar similar material which is cold swagged and locking grooves from the head of the opposite end of the item A from after the pull groove that has been removed. Alright, 231.0, applicability and penalties. Except for as part of in paragraph B and C with this section, the part of the apply with the standard gauge for the railroad won't be. The part does not apply with the railroad operates only with the track inside of the installation, which is not part of the general railroad system of the transportation. 2. The rapid transit operation in urban area that are not connected with the general railroad system of the transportation. 3. The freight and other non-passenger trains for four-wheel coal or four-wheel coal cars. 4. Freight and other non-passenger trains, eight-wheel standard logging cars, and height of each of the car for the top of the rail of the center of the coupling is not more than 25 inches. A locomotive used in the hauling of the train referred in paragraph B4 of this section when the locomotive and the car of the trains are used only in the transport logs. C. Except for the provisions governing the uncoupling devices, the part does not apply with the Terrier 2 passenger equipment defined in Statute 238.5 of this chapter. Passenger equipment operating speeds exceeding 125 miles an hour must not exceed 150 miles an hour. Also used in this part, carrier means the railroad as the term is defined below. E. Railroad means all the forms of non-highway ground transportation that runs on the rails electromagnetically guideways, including commuter and other short-haul railway passenger service in metropolitan suburban area. 2. High-speed ground transportation system that connect metropolitan areas with regard whether they use the new technologies associated with the traditional railroads. Such terms does not include the rapid transit operation within the urban area that are not connected to the general railroad system of the transportation. F. Any person and entity of any type covered under Title I U.S. Standard Code 1, including but not limited to the following: railroad manager, supervisor, official, other employee, agent of the railroad, any of the owner, manufacturer, lessor, or leaser, railroad equipment, track of the facility, independent contractor provided with goods and service of the railroad, an employee of such owner, manufacturer, leaser, or lessor, independent of the contractor, who violates any of the requirement of the part of it is cause of the violation of any such requirement is subject to the civil penalty of at least $650, not more than $25,000 per violation, except the penalties may be assessed against the individual only for the willful violation where grossly negligent violation or a pattern of repeated violations has created an imminent hazard of death for the injury person or so caused by the death and injury. The penalty not exceeding $105,000 per violation may be assessed. Each day violation continues shall consist of separate offense. See Appendix A for this part of the statement of the agency's civil penalty policy. Except as provided in paragraph B of the section 230, statute 231.31, also apply to the operating of 24-inch, 36-inch, other narrow gauge railroads. 231.1, box and other houses for the housing cars built with the place in service before October 1st, 1966, except for the box and other house cars to comply with either the 231.27 or 231.28, each of the box or other house cars shall be equipped to meet the following: handbrake handbrake 1, numbering official efficiency handbrake shall be operated with the harmony of the power braking installed on each of the cars. Handbrake shall provide the same degree of safety design shown on the plate A, and 2, provide the same degree of safety as specified in statute 231.27. Dimensions: the brake shaft shall not be less than 1 1/4 inch on diameter, wrought iron steel without weld. 2, the brake wheel may be flat or dished, not less than 15 or preferably 16 inches diameter. Malleable iron, wrought iron, or steel. Location: the handbrake shall be located and can be safely operated while the car is in motion. 2, the brake shaft is located on the end of the car to the left and not less than 17 inches, not more than 22 inches from the center. 3, carriers are not required to change the brake from the right to left and inside on the steel underframe cars with the platform until service is July 1st, 1911, except with appliances are renewed, with which time they must be made and comply with the standards prescribed. 4, carriers are not required to change the location of the brake wheels and brake shaft on the cars in service of July 1st, 1911, where appliances within 3 inches of the required location, except for when the cars undergo the regular repairs, and they must be made to comply with the standards prescribed. 4, the manner of application there should be not less than 4 inches of clearance around the rim of the brake wheel. 2, outside of the edge of the brake wheel shall not be less than 4 inches from the vertical plane, with the vertical plane parallel with the end of the car passing through the inside face of the knuckle when closed with the coupler horn against the muffler block and the end sill. 3, the top brake shaft support shall be fastened with not less than 1/2 inch bolts or rivets. See plate A. Alright, plate A shows the I don't know. Alright, 4, a brake shaft step support lower end of the brake shaft. The brake shaft step will permit the brake chain to drop in the brake shaft, but shall not be used the U-shape from the form of the brake shaft. The step is preferred. See plate A. 5, the brake shaft will be arranged with a square fit of the upper end of the secure of the handbrake wheel with the square fit not less than 7/8 of an inch from the square. Square fit taper fit taper normally 2 to 12 inches. See plate A. Alright, brake chain shall not brake chain shall not be less than 3/8 of an inch, preferably 7/16 of an inch in wrought iron steel, with a link on the brake rod not less than 7/16 of an inch, preferable 1/2 inch wrought iron steel. It'll be secured on the brake shaft drum and not less than a half a hexagon square head X head bolt. Not the set of the bolt shall be secured riveting end of the bolt over not set. See plate A. 7, lower end of the brake shaft shall be provided with a trunnion of not less than 3/4 of an inch, preferably 1 inch from the diameter, extending from the brake shaft step and then held in an operating position and suitable with a cutter or ring. And see plate A. Alright, 8, brake shaft drum shall be noted not less than 1.5 inches of diameter. See plate A. 9. Brake ratchet wheel shall be secured with the brake shaft with the key to the square of the fit. Said square fit shall be not less than 1 1/5/16 of an inch square. When the ratchet wheel with the square fit is used, provision shall be made with the prevent ratchet wheel when raising the shaft of the disengaged pawl. See plate A. Alright, 10. Brake ratchet wheel shall not be less than 5 1/4 inch, preferably 5 1/2 inches. The diameter shall not be less than 14 inches, preferably 16 teeth. See plate A. But the brake ratchet with the wheel is more than 36 inches for the brake wheel. The brake shaft support shall be provided with the support. The extended upper portion of the brake shaft with the brake shaft support with the fasten will not less than 1/2 inch bolt. The rivet of the brake pawl shall be pivoted upon the bolt and the rivet not less than 5/8 of an inch for the diameter. Upon the trunnion secured with not less than 1/2 inch bolt rivet, there shall be the rigid metal connection between the brake and shaft of the pivot pawl. 8. The brake wheel shall be held in position on the brake shaft of the run, not on the threaded extent of the end of the brake shaft. C. The threaded portion shall not be less than 3/4 of an inch in diameter, not less than secured rivets that overlaying the use for the lock nut and suitable cotter. 14. Brake wheel shall be arranged with a square fit of the brake shoe and the hub of the said wheel with taper inside said fit nominally 2 and 12 inches. B. The brake step of the brake step is used, but it shall not be less than 28 inches in length, and the outside edge shall not be less than 8 inches from the face of the car, and not less than 4 inches of the vertical plane parallel end of the car passing through the inside face of the knuckle when clove with the coupler horn against the muffler block and the end sill. 1. The manner of application. Brake step shall be supported by not less than 2 metal braces having minimum cross-sectional area of 3/8 inch by 1 1/2 inch equivalent, which will be secured fastened to the body of the car, which is not less than 1/2 inch of the bolt and rivets. C. Running boards number 1. 1 longitudinal running board on the outside of the metal roof cars, and 2 latitudinal extensions. 2. The dimension. Longitudinal running of the board shall not be less than 18 inches, not the 18 to preferably 20 inches in width. Latitudinal extension shall not be less than 24 inches in width. Wooden running boards extensions hereafter installed shall be constructed with wood not less than 1 1/8 of an inch thickness. Alright, location. Full length of the car, center of the roof, and the outside metal of the roof of the car. There shall be 2 latitudinal extensions from the longitudinal running board with the latter location, except for the refrigerator cars where the latitudinal extensions cannot be applied on account of the ice hatches. 4. Manner of application. 1. Running of the board shall be continuous from the end of the end to end, not cut and hinge or any portion, provided with the length and width of the running board may be made up of the number of the places securely fastened to the saddle blocks with screw and bolt rivets. 2. The end of longitudinal running the board shall not be less than 6 nor more than 10 inches of the vertical plane, with the end of the car passing through the inside of the knuckle when closed with the coupler horn against the buffer block, and the insole with more than 4 inches of the edge of the roof of the car shall be securely supported with the fully width of the substantial metal braces. 3. Running board shall be securely fastened and can be made with the wood material provided with the same with its greater device of safety than wood. 1 1/8 thickness will be made with the material other than wood. The tread with the surface shall be anti-skid design and constructed with sufficient open space to permanent elimination of snow and ice for the treaded surface. The side steps number 1. Number 4. 2. The dimension minimum cross-sectional area of about 1/2 and 1 1/2 inches, equivalent with the wrought iron steel. Minimum length of the tread of 10 to preferably 12 inches. Minimum clear depth is 8 inches. Location. 1. On either each end of each side of the car, so that there shall be not more than 18 inches from the end of the car to the center of the tread of the sill step. 2. Outside edge of the tread of the steps shall not be more than 4 inches side for the face of the side of the car, preferably flush with the side of the car. 3. The tread shall not be more than 24, preferably not more than 22 inches above the top of the rail. 4. Carriers are not required to change location side steps on the cars in service in July 1st, 1911. July 1st, 1911, where applications are within 3 inches of the required location, except for when the cars undergo regular repairs, they must then be made comply with the standards prescribed. 4. The manner of the application. Sill steps exceeding 21 inches in the depth shall have an additional tread. 2. Sill steps shall be securely fastened with not less than 1/2 inch bolts with nuts outside when possible, and riveted over with not less than 1/2 inch rivets. E. Ladders. Number 4. Dimensions. Number clear with the length of the tread. The side ladders are 16 inches for the end of the ladder, 14 inches maximum spacing between the ladder treads, 19 inches. 2. The top of the ladder tread shall be located located not less than 12 inches, no more than 18 inches from the roof of the eaves. 3. The spacing on the side of the ladder tread shall be uniform with the limit of the 2 inches for the top of the ladder tread for the bottom of the tread. 5. Maximum distance over the bottom of the tread with the side ladder with the top of the tread still step at 21 inches. 5. Each of the end ladder treads shall be spaced coincide with the treads. The side ladder's variation of 2 inches being allowed. When construction of the car will not be permitted the application of the tread end of the ladder will coincide with the bottom of the tread side of the ladder. The bottom of the tread end of the ladder must coincide with the second tread from the bottom of the side ladder. 6. Hardwood treats, minimum dimensions of 1.5 to 2 inches. 7. Iron and steel treads, minimum diameter of 5/8 of an inch. 8. Minimum clearance of treads of 2, preferably 2.5 inches. Locations: one on each side, not more than 8 inches for the right end of the car. One on each end of not more than 8 inches for the left side of the car. Measured from the inside of the ladder, still on the clearance of the ladder treads of the corner of the car. 2. Carriers are not required to change the location of the ladder for the car that was serviced in July 1st, 1911, where applications are within 3 inches of the required location, except when the cars are undergoing regular repairs. They must be made to comply with the standards prescribed. 3. Carriers are not required to change any of the ladders on steel or steel underframe cars with the platform end sills in service in July 1st, 1911, except when such appliances are renewed at the time that they may be complied with the standards prescribed. 4. The manner of application metal ladders without stiles near the corners of the cars shall have the foot guards upward projections not less than 2 inches in height near the inside of the bottom. 2. The side stills of the ladder projection with 2 or more inches of the face of the car will serve the foot guards. 3. Ladders shall be securely fastened with not less than 1/2 inch bolts or with nuts outside when possible, with riveted over with not less than 1/2 inch rivets. 3/8 of an inch bolts may be used in the wooden treads which are gained in stiles. F. End of the ladder clearance. No part of the car above the stills within 30 inches from the side of the car, except for the buffer block, brake shaft, the brake wheel, brake step, running board, and uncoupling lever shall be extended within 12 inches of the vertical plane, parallel to the end of the car, passing through the inside of the car face of the knuckle, closed with the coupler horn against the buffer block end sill, with no other part ending with the car fixture on the same above the end sills other than the exemptions herein noted shall be extended beyond the outer face of the buffer block. Carriers are not required to make changes for the secure additional end ladder clearances on the cars in service of July 1st, 1911 that have 10 or more inches ending in clearance within 30 inches of the side of the car until the car is shopped with the working and mounted with the practical rebuild with the body of the car, at which time they must be made with comply with the standards prescribed. G. Roof handholds. Number one over the each of the ladder. 2. On one right angle handhold may be taken place for the 2 adjacent specified roof handles provided with the dimension location coinciding that the extra leg securely fastened to the car and point angle. 2 dimensions: minimum diameter 5/8 of an inch of raw iron steel, minimum clear length of 16 inches, minimum clearance of 2, preferably 2.5 inches. Location: 1 of the roof of the car, 1 parallel treads each of the ladder, not less than 8 or no more than 15 inches. From the edge of the roof, except for the refrigerator cars, which are at ice hatch prevention with the location from near the edge of the roof. 2. The carriers are not required to change the location handholds of the cars in service of July 1st, 1911, except for the handhold under the insill where the appliances are within 3 inches of the required location, except that the cars undergoing regular repairs of them must then be made to comply with the standards prescribed. Manual application roof handles shall be securely fastened not less than 1/2 inch bolts with nuts outside when possible. The rivets over with not less than a half inch of the rivets. H. Side handles. 1. Number 4 of the tread on the side ladder on the side handhold. 2. The dimension: minimum diameter 5/8 of an inch, raw iron steel, minimum clear length of 16 inches, preferably 24 inches, minimum clearance of 2, preferably 2.5 inches. Location: 1. Horizontal one near each end of the side of the car. Side handhold shall not be less than 24, no more than 30 inches above the center of the line. The coupler, except for the provided above the tread ladder in the hand, is a handhold clearance for the outer end of the handhold shall not be more than 8 inches from the end of the car. Alright, 2. Carriers are not required to change the location of the handholds on the surface of July 1st, 1911, except for the end of the handholds under the end of the sill where the appliances are within 3 inches of the required location, except that when the cargo undergoes regular repairs, they must then made comply with the standards prescribed. 4. Manner of application: side handholds shall be securely fastened with not less than a half-inch bolts with running nuts outside, with when possible the rivets over with not less than half inches over the rivets. 1. Horizontal end holes. Number 8 of the more the 4 end of each of the car tread on the end of the letters in a handle. 2. The dimension: 1. Minimum diameter of 5/8 of an inch for iron steel. Minimum clearance length of 60 inches, preferably 24 inches. 2. A handhold of 14 inches of length may be used, but they're impossible to use on 16 inches of length. 3. The minimum clearance of 2, preferably 2.5 inches. 3. The location: 1 of near each end of the side of the car, not less than 24, no more than 30 inches above the center line of the coupler, except provided above the tread of the end of the ladder is the end of the handhold. Clearance of the outer end of the handle shall not be more than 8 inches of the sidecar. 2. On the near end of each of the side end of each of the end of the car face for the end of the sill sheeting over the end sill projecting outward, downward. Clearance for the outer end of the handhold shall not be more than 16 inches from the side of the car. 3. On each of the end of the car, the platform end sill for the 6, more than 6 inches width measured at the end of the post siding, extending entirely across the end of the car. There shall be an additional handhold not less than 24 inches for the length, located near the center of the car, not less than 30 or no more than 60 inches above the platform end sill. 4. Carriers are not required to change the location of handholds on the car's surface until July 1st, 1911, except the end of the handholds under the end sill where the appliances are within 3 inches of the required location, except when the car undergoes regular repairs that they must be made with comply with the standards prescribed. Alright, 4. The manner of the application: horizontal handholds securely fastened with not less than 1.5 inch bolts with nuts outside when possible and riveted over with not less than 1/2 inch rivets. J. Vertical end handholds. Number 2 of the full width of the platform end sill of the cars are therefore prescribed. 2. The dimension: minimum diameter 5/8 of an inch for all iron and steel. Minimum clear length of 18, preferably 24 inches. Minimum clearance of 2, preferably 2.5 inches. The location: 1 of each end of the car opposite the ladder, no more than 8 inches on the side of the car. Clearance of the bottom end of the handhold shall not be less than 24 inches, no more than 30 inches above the center line of the coupler. 2. Carriers are not required to change the location of the handles on cars in surface July 1st, 1911, except the end of the hands upper end of the sills where the appliances are within 3 inches of the required location, except when they undergoes regular repairs they must be made to comply with the standard prescribed. 4. The manner of application: vertical end handholds shall be securely fastened with not less than 1/2 inch bolts with the nuts outside when possibility of the riveted over with not less than 1/2 inch rivets. The uncoupling levers. Number 2. Uncoupling levers may be either single or double. Any of the efficient design dimension handholds uncoupling levers except for those shown in plate B. Similar design shall be not more than 6 inches for the side of the car. Uncoupling levers of design shall be plated with the B. Similar design should conform to the following prescribed limits. 3. The handle shall not be less than not more than 12, but preferably 9 inches from the side of the car. The center lift arm shall not be less than 6 inches long. 7 inches long. 5. Center of the eye of the end of the center lift arm shall be not more than 3.5 inches beyond the center of the eye of the uncoupling pin of the coupler when the horn coupler is against the muffler block and sill. See plate B. All right, plate B shows the side plate, the guard your end still of the car with the coupler and the drawbar. 5. End of the handles shall not be extended with the 4 inches at the bottom of the end shall not be constructed to give it a minimum clearance of 2 inches. Around the handle of the minimum drop of the handle shall be 12 inches, the minimum of 15 inches over the 6 handle of the uncoupling lever to the rocking and pushing down type shall not be less than 18 inches from the top of the rail with the lock block. Who has relief the knuckle, the suitable stop shall be provided with the prevent the inside of the arm from the flying up in the case of the breakage. 3. The location on each end of each end of the car, the single lever is used that shall be placed on the left end of the car. Alright, 231. 2. Hopper cars and high side gondola fixed ends. Cars with the side of more than 36 inches above the floor of the high side of the car. The handbrakes, number 1, if the name is specified in box other than the houses. See 231.1A1. Dimension C specified for the box and other houses. See 231.1A2. Location: each of the handbrakes shall be located that they can be safely operated while the car is in motion. 2. The brake shaft shall be located on the end of the car of the left. They're not more than 22 inches below the center. 3. The carriers are not required to change the brake of the right and left of the side of the steel underframe carved with the platform end sills in service of July 1st, 1911, except when such appliances are renewed with each of the which time must be made to comply with the standards prescribed. Carriers are not required to change the location of the tread brake wheel to the brake shaft on the car's surface July 1st, 1911, when applications are within 3 inches of the required location, except when the cars undergo the regular repairs they must be made to comply with the standards prescribed. 4. Manner of application, same as specified of the box. Other houses, see statute 231-1A4. Brake step, same as specified for the box and other housing cars, see 231-1AB. Alright, C, sill step, same as specified for the box and other house cars, C, statute 231-1D. D, ladders, 1, number same as specified in the box, other house with the car, C, statute 231-1E1. Dimensions specified with the box, other house cars, C, statute 231-1E2, except for the top of the ladder, the tread shall not be located no more than 4 inches from the top of the car. 3, the location specified for the box and other house cars, C, statute 231-1E3. 4, the manner of application, same as specified for the box and other house cars, see statute 231-1E4. Side handles, same as specified with the box and other house cars, see statute 231-1H. Horizontal end of the handholds, see specified with the box over the other cars, see statute 231-1 or I. G, vertical end handholds, same as specified with the box or other house with the specified in 231-1J, and uncoupling lever, C, specified with the box or other house cars, see statute 231-1K. Alright, I. End and ladder clearance. No part of the car above the end of the sill within 30 inches of the side of the car, except for the buffer block of the brake shaft, the brake wheel, with the brake shaft uncoupling lever shall be extended within 12 inches of the vertical plane with the parallel, with the end of the cars passing through the inside of the face of the knuckle with a closed couple horn against the buffer block of the insole with no other part ending of the car with the fixture on the same above the inside sills, same above the same end of the sills. Other structures exemptions hereby noted shall be extended beyond the outer face of the buffer block. Carriers are not required to make changes for the service to secure additional end and ladder clearance on the cars July 1st, 1911, and have 10 or more inches of end ladder clearance within 30 inches of the side of the car until the car is shopped and work on mounting on the practical rebuilding of the body of the car, at which time they must be made to comply with the standards prescribed. Alright, 231-3 drop-in high-sided gondola cars.